Hi, everybody. It's David Ellison from Megadeth here, and you are watching CMS TV.
We are back right here on Chris Aiken Presents. And dude, how fun was that? Was karate chopping fun? Karate kicking
The
fun.
clan of the foot approves.
That's right. That was fun, man. David's always fun. It's always fun when you interview somebody that you're actually friendly with because it's real loose at that point.
Right.
You know,
I think it's cool to find out that these guys like regular rock bands too. Like that was always a misconception that these dudes only listen to the heaviest of death metal or something. I mean, you heard him talking about how he wanted to see Winger
and Kicks and
Kicks. Which speaking of Kicks, I don't know if you heard, but I saved the drummer of Kicks' life.
I did not hear this. What did you do?
Or at least I'd like to think that I did. I don't know. There's when you showed that photo in the theater of us playing, and it had the Stephen Piercy electronic LED screen that you can see back there. That's a big TV screen, and it has a very sharp corner to it. Like if you look behind where I am, there was those Marshall amps there. That thing's actually hanging pretty low. You know, it's like hanging about, 6 feet off the ground or 5 feet off the ground. And when you're walking backstage, you have to be careful. Like I hit my head. Jerry C says, "Hail and kill. David is awesome." Yep.
Yeah. I'm just throwing these up. Keep going. Don't even read them. I'm just throwing them up because people were commenting.
Okay. All good. So anyways, Kicks, I think, was playing after us. And the drummer, who's just coming back to play shows after having health problems himself, he had some heart attack stuff. And he's back there. All of a sudden, he just smashes his head on the corner. And I saw him like touch his hand and pull it away. It was just gushing blood on there.
Oh, wow.
That's when I had to spring into action, Chris. That's right. I had to save this man's life.
That's right.
So I quickly grabbed one of our black towels that we have for ourselves. And I quickly was like, "Put this on your head and apply pressure." And he did. He put it on there. And I'm like, "Now sit down over here." And I don't know. I started feeling like I was like Dr. Ferentinos or something. Dr. Ferentinos. But he was like, "Damn." I mean, it hurt. It probably hurt like a mofo to hit your head on that corner,
I bet, yeah.
And I even was like, "Are you on blood thinners?" Because I know how it is. Like, I'm on blood thinners. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Uh-huh." And I'm like, "Yeah, you need to just hold that on there." Because like my cat could kill me with the things I'm on right now. If I get a cut, it just gushes blood. And that was his deal. But then it was like, it was kind of funny because like 5 minutes later, he does it again. He hit his head again. I go, "Look, we got to get this guy out of here."
Yeah, no kidding. Damn.
Seriously, he's going to hurt himself. So you're welcome.
Yeah, you saved his life just in time.
Jimmy,
Jimmy Chalfant, maybe?
Right.
You saved his life just in time to retire.
I know. Then we find out they're retiring.
Yeah, and then you go to M3 and announce, "Hey, we're done in a couple of months." I was like, wow. Good for them, though, for going out instead of just waiting until it's like whittled down to, Steve Whiteman and a bunch of other guys that he knows calling themselves Kicks.
And these guys have been working solid, I mean, for 35 years.
Yeah. I hate to tell you, 45 years.
Yeah.
45 years, and they're calling it a day. And good on them. From everything I've heard, they still sound really good. They don't suck. So they're not going to, the last memory people have of Kicks won't be some sad sack, shitty version of Kicks.
That's right.
That's good. It doesn't happen that often anymore where guys actually retire as an intact unit. And it seems like, was there just one guy, I think, that's not an original, right?
Right. One of the guitar players.
Like they have like real problems with one guy, Ronnie something.
Right.
I don't know much. Kick's a weird band for me. They were not, when their heyday was what, about 88 or so?
Yeah.
Is that about when they were heyday? And that's when I was out of the country.
Right.
And Kicks, there's a few of those bands that were fairly big here that just were not big when I was in Korea. They were not big overseas. And Kicks was definitely, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty comfortable in saying I never once heard a Kicks song the entire time I was in Korea.
They never showed up and played for Bulgogi Night?
No, well, dude, back then, this is how long ago this was. It's no wonder I'm a big fucking Santa Claus beard wearing motherfucker. But because I'm old. Back then, so long ago back then, that the bands didn't come to Korea. They stopped in Japan. They went to Japan, they played the Big Egg in Nagoya, and then went back home. You know, that was as far as they went. They didn't take the extra hour and fly over to Korea. So, like, during the Olympics, they had this big concert. It was like the biggest concert in the history of the country at the time. And it was shit bands. I mean, honestly, it was, I think the headliner was Miami Sound Machine. And it was like Miami, which, yeah, she was scrumptious. But Gloria Estefan. But it was Miami Sound Machine and Jermaine Jackson and
the studio band from the MASH soundtrack.
Dude, it might as well have been. Because I just named to you the big ones. I just named the big names. And then the rest of it was much smaller bands and bands that you never heard of and never will. But and it sold out a stadium because it was the Olympic. I mean, it was the Olympic kickoff event where there was all kinds of weird dancey shit on the floor and stuff.
Did you have the Labadee solid gold dancers?
It was like that. I mean, it was better than that. It was like 1,000 people with umbrellas spinning the shit around and stuff. But it wasn't that. To me, it was funny because the Koreans had no experience with concerts. So they were doing the whole sit down and that thing. But there was one section that had all the military people from we all got our tickets from the USO. And we were all in one section.
Stage diving.
And we were going ape shit. We were all half loaded. We're all in uniform. That sucked. But we were all in our dress greens, or, you know, for the Marines, their dress whatevers. You know, everybody's in their dress uniforms. And we're going fucking crazy. We're all trashed, you know, and we're like American concert people. So, you know, I'm up fucking drunk as fuck in my dress greens, dancing around to "Come On Baby Do the Conga," don't you? You know, that horse shit.
Come on, baby, do the conga. No, it's been any longer.
Yeah, nobody. And believe me, that's about how I was singing it too.
Chris is leading the conga line.
Yeah, really.
To the Bulgogi bar.
Yeah, dude, the funniest thing during the Olympics and at this event, they served it. Boy, did they learn the hard way. I'll tell you a funny story. They would sell bowls of ramen noodles. Oh. And their bowls of ramen noodles 1,000 times better than ours.
Whoa.
I mean, these tasted
have some good noodles here.
These tasted great. This was like fucking delicacy here. But we were at the Roy Jones Jr. fight where Roy Jones knocked the Korean guy down like 4 times and then lost the fight on a decision. God. It was fucked up. And we were sitting right next to Roy Jones's dad, this big monster. You know, we're sitting next to Roy Jones's dad. And Roy Jones's dad had this bowl of fucking ramen noodles. And when his son lost that decision, he just took the noodles and just fucking threw them on some guy's back in the back. And it was hot.
Gave him 3rd-degree burns.
It was hot as fuck. This guy's freaking the fuck out. And then it just turned into a brawl. It turned like, and we were standing there with Roy Jones Jr.'s dad. We're hitting people because they were all
Ray
coming.
Parker Jr. Not to be confused with Ray Parker Jr.
No, not Ray Parker Jr. It was Roy Jones, the boxer guy. But he could obviously throw a punch or two. He trained his kid. So we're sitting there with him. He's fighting. You know, his couple of people that are with him, everybody's throwing punches. We're fighting for Roy Jones Jr.'s, like me and my 2 friends. It was
you're not worried because you have to go to a military thing. They can't like arrest you in Korean jail. You have to.
They didn't do. I went to Korean jail a couple times.
But they got to let you go back to base.
I spent 6 days one time. I ended up in the jail for 6 days before they finally fucking found me. Military had to come and find me. They wouldn't let me make a call or nothing. For what was that for? Some kind of I think that was one of those knocking out a cab driver thing. I was such a fucking scumbag.
You're like, keep the change.
No, we would take a ride at like 2 or 3 in the morning with the Korean cab drivers, and they weren't allowed on the base.
Uh-huh.
So it would be like 3 of us, and I would tell them, get out the car and go in. They would get out and they would go in. I'd pretend like I was fumbling into my pockets, trying to find money to pay, like a $3 cab fare or what. I mean, that's the worst part about this story is not that I hit somebody.
Right.
It's that the fare was really like $3. and I would fumble around till my friends were in the gate, and I would get my ID out so I could run through the gate. But then I would just boom and just hit him in the fucking side of his head and bang his head off the window. And then I would jump out the car and run.
Well, let me tell you, as a guy who had to, in hard times, do rideshare as a kind of a taxi job.
Yeah.
It really disappoints me that you did that,
dude. I'm not proud of this moment. I'm not proud of a lot.
I'm sure you had enough bad shit happen to you karmically.
I did.
That you're all good. You paid.
Dude, that burn accident wipes away a lot of this shit. That's why I don't have a problem telling any of these stories. But yeah, look, I'll be the first one to admit it. I was a bad guy in the service. They take this kid. I was 17. Or I think I just turned 18. I was like 18. Well, it was January when I got there, and my birthday's the end of October. So I'm 18 and 2 months. I get to Korea. Right. They tell me I can drink. I had a security clearance, so I was working as a bodyguard for the highest ranking guy in the country. I'm being his bodyguard. And the first day, they give me this pass, and they say, now don't get in any trouble, but if you do, here's a number you can call. What does that do to 18-year-old Chris Aiken?
I got to get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I'm going to go fucking crazy. I am going to go absolutely bonkers. And I did. And plus, over there, legal to drink.
Yeah.
So, legal to drink. And as you're well aware, I can drink a little bit. Yeah. So, it was not...
Chris has a book where he goes into detail about his shenanigans over there.
I do. It's over here somewhere. And other things I should not say. Let me see.
And other things I should not say available where all fine books are sold.
Amazon.
It's probably a good place to start.
Let me pull that right up. There it is.
Nice. Now tell people the funniest thing about this book cover. Tell them what it says there in
in the Korean.
Yeah,
the Korean translate. Wrong button. The Korean translates to "Your mother has a bald pussy,"
nice.
which is like the worst insult that you can say. It's like going to Germany.
That's worse than jerking Horseshack off.
Yeah,
on live TV
by a lot. It's worse than going to Germany and trying to espouse the greatness of Hitler. It's because what the folklore that I've been told was that what the Japanese, when they invaded Korea, that's how they marked the women, was by shaving their heads and shaving their snatches and stuff.
Right.
Like they would shave them completely, and that's how they would mark them. So,
that was probably more for lice purposes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it was, but that was the reason. So, but I'm telling you, you could go downtown. You'd be walking through downtown Itaewon, and
egg flying lice.
Somebody would bump into you or something walking, and I was always drunk anyway. So somebody'd bump into me walking, I'd be like, "How does she be back poachy da, motherfucker?" You know, I'd be like, that. Chris. I would do that. I would spit it out in Korean so they knew what I was saying, but then I would throw the American "you piece of shit" or "you motherfucker" or whatever behind it, and it was like,
we wonder why everyone hates us.
And it was definitely, the fights were on. That's why if you look at my fingers, they're all fucking broke because I used to fight a ton. you know, and I broke every finger on my hand, on both hands in Korea. I lived a little dangerously over there, my friend. Lucky somebody didn't just kill me.
Yes, you are.
They should have.
See, now you play it cool. You play it safe.
Sometimes, most times. I haven't been in anything in about 6 or 7 years now, which is one of the longest streaks I've ever had of not having it. The last thing I had, I was at a Slayer show, and there was this dude 4 or 5 rows above us. It was me, my friend John, his wife Stephanie, and their kid. And Stephanie was sitting. It was at a venue that was just kind of bleachers, and Slayer was playing, and Stephanie was sitting on the end, and I was sitting next to Stephanie, and some dude 4 or 5 rows up was beating the shit out of his girlfriend for some reason, just beating the shit out of her. And
I'm sure she did something bad.
I don't know what she did, but the police came and started yanking this fucking guy out, you know, and they're yanking him down the steps, and he like tripped over Stephanie's foot, I think, or leg or something, and he reared back to fucking punch her, and I just jumped right over her and just started wham. And it was funny because they're pulling this guy down, like the way it was positioned, just a little small walkway. The cops couldn't really do anything because they were down further, you know, pulling this guy. So they're trying to pull him down. Stephanie's got me by my hair trying to pull me away from this guy. I'm pulling her down the goddamn steps because I'm hitting this fucker in the face, you know, and then we got to the bottom and the police went to arrest me. And then I guess Stephanie or John or somebody was like, no, he was stopping him from hitting her, you know, and I got away with it. But yeah, I still have that hair trigger. It's a little longer of a fuse now. Yeah, I'll say that.
My meds help with that. I'm on these like blood pressure meds. They kind of keep me cool enough where before I would just like explode, my blood pressure would go out of control, and that was it. Now I find myself more like thinking things over. Plus, those days are over, man. I'm probably getting hurt now.
Well, that's it, dude. It's like now, you know, I've been laying around for months with a stupid fucking shoulder. Last thing I want to do is go get in a fight with somebody now.
I've been in so many of those over the years. Like I'm lucky. Now it's like preserving my gig at all costs. You know what I mean? Being available, being healthy. There's a lot of guys. Look at Nuno, man. That's insane. Like him playing basketball. For one, I didn't even know they had a basketball court on this thing. And then sure enough, they do. And then I'm seeing pictures of them playing. And it reminded me of Dave Chappelle when he does his like Prince story where like the Prince band played basketball and then made pancakes afterwards.
Right.
Like, wow. Like the band Extreme is just like that. They go and play basketball. And like sure as shit, you know, the dude's leg snapped in half or whatever. I did see him on crutches, like coming into the dining area, and I kind of felt for the guy. And then they didn't do M3, which I think it was almost like, hey, are we going to do M3? Like we could maybe change our plane tickets and go take their place. But I don't know, something didn't work out, I think, for whatever reason, but didn't happen. And now I guess he is gonna. But that's an ACL. You tore an ACL.
That's a year,
dude.
Man.
He's going to be miserable going up
and
and playing these shows.
I tore my MCL once, and I had the surgery on the MCL. And you're going to laugh at this story.
That's your Motley Crue ligament?
No, yeah, exactly. Now, this is the tragic of all tragic stories. So I was home a month because I tore my MCL and I had the surgery. And I was supposed to be off 6 weeks, but I went back to work 2 weeks early because I couldn't afford to be off anymore. And I just wrapped my leg up real tight, you know, and just was like, oh, I'm just going to limp around and hope for the best, right? The night I went back is the night I got blown up. If I would have stayed out the 2 more weeks, I never would have had that accident. But then I would have never been doing this. So
you would have never burned away your bad karma.
Yeah, true. Or I'd have done it some other way and got my head chopped off in a car or something. You know, drunk driving accident or some shit. So whatever. You know, shit, dude. I don't even look at that accident as bad anymore. I mean, it sucked at the time. Believe me, my mom and my ex-wife would tell you a different story. But for me, everything I've gotten to do, all the great fun shit that I've gotten to do, whether it's meeting rock stars or, doing this with me and you or me and Neely or writing all these books or owning the businesses, everything I've gotten to do would have never happened if I would have stayed a fucking middle of the road fucking steel worker with no ambition. Once I got hurt, I got fucking motivated and I just started doing shit.
Plus you have like a sense of purpose more. I don't know if you did. I know I did. Like when I survived my thing, I went, well, obviously there's a couple more things I need to do or I would have been taken right now.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. You gotta do you gotta be happy with every day that you get. You really, when you face death, like really face death, as both of us have, when you've really stared it in the eye, you realize that you better fucking be happy that you got today.
That's right.
Because there ain't no guarantees about any further days. So, So anyway, didn't know that we were going to go into this, but whatever. Yeah, I know, so sad. But one last quick thing, we'll get the fuck out of here. So you remember a couple weeks ago we had our friend Tony Simmerman on, right?
Right, from that had the collectibles, correct?
Yes. Look at this bad puppy.
Oh,
look at that.
That's so cool.
That is the coolest fucking thing, dude.
I did see a picture of that, and Toomey got something also.
Toomey got a bunch of stuff. Toomey got like $1,000 worth of stuff.
I know.
I felt really guilty asking for this thing because it was like $200.
He had all the Pantera action figures.
He got all the Pantera guys plus the Pantera leaf, the pot leaf, which was a separate Pantera thing. So
nice.
I like that dude. We're going to definitely have him back on again, but not to talk about collectibles, just to talk. He wants to just come on and talk about metal.
Talk metal.
So I'm all for that. You know me. I love talking about that kind of stuff. So, and look, we made a new friend tonight that wants to come back on, Kenny Olson.
That's right.
Dude, do it every time. Just fucking, you get guys, you get comfortable.
They like our show because
because it's loose.
That's right.
It's loose.
Fast and loose.
Well, it's not just the whole. Okay, here's a question for you. You recorded at XYZ Studios with XYZ. What was that like? Dude,
I played the goddamn Welcome Back Cotter theme. That was like, I came up with that 10 minutes before the show. I mean, I already had these guys behind me because of Welcome Back, but then I go, that would be funny to actually play it. And I had to like sit there. And it was like around 4:30 my time.
Right.
And I was pulling the song up on YouTube and trying to learn the chord changes really quick. I'm like, this is really ballsy what I'm about to do right now. But
it's funny. It's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll just keep doing our little goofy thing over here. That's what we're doing. So, all right. Well, let's be done with our goofy thing over here. I think we've given the kids enough.
I'd say so.
I would say so. This is fun tonight. Next week, I don't know that we have anything booked yet, but I have feelers out. We may, and I'll say it because I don't care. We may be having David Thibodeau, who is a survivor of Waco. He was one of the Branch Davidian guys that survived Waco. Wow. And he was also David Koresh's drummer. So I've been in contact with him. He said he'd love to do the show, but he was traveling the week that we were going to have him on because they had a big Waco anniversary thing. A couple of weeks.
Waco anniversary jam.
Well, I don't think it was a jam. I think it was more of a memorial. I don't think they get together and go, woohoo, we burned it up.
Why
bitches.
Not?
I don't think they have a bonfire to celebrate. All right. I think it's a very somber thing. But yeah, I've been in contact with him. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I know I talked to you about it, and you were like all in as well. I love that kind of stuff, that's different. That's not, hey, here's the guy from Kick Tracy. I like doing stuff that is like news, like legitimate news every once in a while. I like to keep it loose, but I got a lot of questions. There's a show on right now called Waco Aftermath.
Waco After Dark?
Yeah, exactly. After light. No. Burning light. But
Waco Aftermath?
Yeah. Damn, I got a fucking sharded nail. Don't know how I did that, but it's hurting like a motherfucker. But no, but I've been watching this Waco Aftermath on Paramount, and it led me back to watching the original Waco docuseries. And I'm just like, they're saying a lot of stuff specifically about David Thibodeau that I want to ask him.
Right.
So it's like, all right, let's and from what I understand, the Waco docu-series was based off of his book. So some of the stuff is pretty hard. So, one guy just says point blank, he said, David Thibodeau's a fucking liar. And I want to ask him specifically about that.
Are you a fucking liar, Mr. David?
Well, where did that come from is what I want to ask him, is how did he, because it wasn't said to him. It was said like in the backroom negotiations with the lawyers and stuff.
Well, you know what? He was there, though. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got the burn scars to prove that. So,
which had to be a horrifying, day.
Well, he had his wife burn up.
Right.
He's
that died. And that was another one of those situations where, because I have to refamiliarize myself with it, but I believe the government gave the weapons to them, like these weapons in question.
Well, they sold them.
Sold them, yeah. So again, the government, the FBI, whoever was involved in this scheme the whole time.
Well, and again, it just leads to so many questions. And I mean, a lot of them I'm sure he's been asked 100 times. But I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to ask him anyway, as far as, did anybody start those fires?
Right.
Or was it the government that fucking... Well,
here's the thing. He's going to get discredited. And
of course,
they always whitewash all that stuff you watch on TV. If it's on Netflix, forget about it.
I get that.
Paid for that.
What I'm saying, though, is me and you, not necessarily likely to just fucking suck the government dick and take their story.
Right.
We'll listen to what the guy has to say, and then we'll make an evaluation.
Government's balls, but we won't. No, kidding.
No, we'll make our own evaluation. And this is one of the reasons I'm fascinated by the Waco story. And I want to ask somebody that was there. Tell me it and help me form my real opinion. Because my only opinion, quite honestly, from Waco was fucking CNN.
Yeah.
That's the only news I got about it, was they showed it over and over again on CNN, and they just said, oh, these guys were fucking crazy, and these guys...
Well, it's the CIA news network,
Of course.
So, of course, they control the narrative, as they always have.
Of course. And back then, we weren't questioning the narrative like we do now.
No, we thought that was legit. We're like, CNN. I get my news from CNN.
Yeah.
We brag about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you watch something else, you fool. How could you?
Right.
And if the ATF says that these fucking people burned themselves to death, then they must have. Ugh. We believe the narrative. Then, back in 94, I think? 94, 93? Yeah, it's right then. But yeah, this is a cool opportunity, and I'm more
interesting
than happy
guest to have. See, someone who was actually there.
Yeah,
we'll hear his side of things.
And I want to ask him about the songs that he played with David Koresh, if he still plays them. He still plays music.
He should get in a band with Charles Manson.
Well, Charles Manson's dead, dude.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah, he died. April of 93. Thank you, Cuz brah. But yeah, I know it was in there somewhere. But yeah, I'm excited about having him on. Another rumored guest. I don't even mind. If it doesn't come through, it doesn't come through. Is Andrew Hagar, Sammy Hagar's son.
Oh, okay.
Who's he's doing a show. He has a band, like they all do, but he's also doing a show about, growing up in the famous footsteps. So I'm anxious to find out about Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
I've gotten drunk with Sammy Hagar once, and that was fun. So I'm anxious to hear what his kid has to say. If he's a good dad, or if he was always trashed, or always on the road, or what, I'm
going to guess that he was a good dad.
I'm guessing he probably was too, but it should be interesting to hear, to see what he has to say. So
yeah,
we will see. We will see how it all goes. But why am I getting texts now? What's going on here? Hey, people, I'm still doing radio. Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll be doing. I don't know if we're supposed to say, but there's an interview. I have to be up.
No,
early
we can
for.
say it. We can absolutely say it because if you are a subscriber on the locals page, which is classicmetalshow.locals.com, Eric and I will be getting up bright and early tomorrow to interview Mr. Richie Faulkner of Judas Priest about the new Judas Priest record and about his project after Priest that's coming called Elegant Weapons. Mm-hmm. And if you are a subscriber to the locals page, we will be releasing it tomorrow. So we're going to do it early, then I'm going to flip it real quick, and then I'm going to put it in there for the locals people, and it probably won't come out on the regular podcast for at least a month because I've got a month's worth of stuff, already pre-done for the Tuesdays. But if you want it ahead of time, get there tomorrow, and it'll be there tomorrow. So
yeah, we're gonna start getting into doing special content.
Yeah,
if you will.
Well, we're gonna definitely build up some content and some different ways to participate and help the show and blah blah.
Possibly musical performances.
Yes, like
more
that
TV
Welcome Back
themes
Cotter song that
from
we
the
had.
80s.
Yeah, that's right. Next week, Saved by the Bell song by Eric.
Silver spoons. Here
right.
we are, face to face. A couple of silver spoons.
All right, now if you can get the next line, I'll give you $20.
Hoping to find we're two of a kind, making our way, making a play together.
God damn it.
We're gonna find our way. It's
God.
Venmo at Eric Valentinos. Together.
God damn it. Nice. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, my brother.
That's enough. This has been fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, next week we will be back 8 p.m. on the Eastern, 5 p.m. on the Pacific time. So for Chris Aiken Presents, I am Chris Aiken.
And I'm Eric Valentinos.
And we are fucking gone. See ya.